Well, like I said, I mean, I didn't really give body weight a second thought until I was all banged up and was looking for alternatives
Right.
to what I was doing. So that was one of the things that got me interested in it. Um, and I guess the other thing was the application to training skiers, off season or when we were away at training camps, things like that. Um, when you got like 20 skiers in a little gym or you're in a soccer field or wherever, comes in handy. So, uh, that was definitely another motivation. Um, and I think the thing that really got me interested in bodyweight training was once I started digging into it, I realized that it wasn't nearly as boring and static as I thought it was.
Right.
Basically, bodyweight training for me before I started looking into it was push-ups, bodyweight squats, and sit-ups. Throw a lunge in there, and that was about all I had, right?
Right.
And I realized digging into it that I mean it's like as deep and as wide as you want. There's all these different disciplines to pull from, including what we were talking about, yoga. Yoga is like one of the most fantastic sources of bodyweight exercises on the planet.
Hmm.
Um, and then obviously gymnastics, martial arts, and like all the cool like athletic developments in bodyweight exercise. Like there's just tons and tons of cool stuff that you can find. And like I see videos all the time of bodyweight exercises that I think I should have thought of, but haven't. Like someone else has thought them up. So yeah, it's pretty neat. It's just really cool. Like watching old videos of like these wrestlers in Iran
Right.
doing funky bodyweight exercises. It's just really neat. And these guys are in great shape, and it's proof that you don't need the fancy equipment to be in top shape and have a great looking physique.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that inherently body weight training is probably a little safer than resistance training? I mean, you could
Um,
do anything with shitty form, right? Obviously, but you know.
that's the thing. I think I think body weight exercise is is a great kind of almost prerequisite to doing anything
Sure.
because it forces you to master your body in movement. Like it forces you to master controlling your own body against gravity in 3 dimensions,
Right.
which is, I think, a valuable thing to spend some time on because a lot of stuff you do in the gym with weights is a lot more two-dimensional. Really,
Sure.
you're just pushing something in one direction
Yeah.
against gravity. Whereas in bodyweight training, you can safely do a lot of um, more rotary-based movement. So you're
Sure.
actually like pushing and twisting at the same time, or like rolling and pushing, or rolling and pulling. So yeah, I think for that it's really valuable. I don't think that it's safer or less safe than any other form of exercise. I mean, anything done right is fine. Um, but I guess maybe for guys it is a little bit safer because like the thing with guys, I just see this all the time in the gym. These young guys come in, they start weight training, they have no clue what they're doing, and all they're thinking about is like, how can I get 5 more pounds on the bar, right? So they're just like doing this crazy stuff in the name of progress when
Right.
all they're really progressing towards is like a rapid injury. Um, and they're not getting any stronger, which is the sad part. They're not getting any stronger. They don't look any better. They're just like humping more weight from one week to the next.
Yeah,
So
that's a good observation to think about how it's generally more the men who have the ego in the game. I was at this local gym when I was traveling a couple weeks back, and this guy was doing barbell power cleans, and like the Olympic lifts in a local gym or just any gym in general is just you just see the worst form ideas ever. And I had to stop him. I usually just put my headphones in and just like go my own thing, but I had to stop him and be like, hey, like you really need to not do this exercise right now and maybe work on this one instead. Because he was, just question mark back, and he'd get up to his knees and he just throw his back into it, and he's pulling like, he's about 135 pounds, but it's enough where he's getting to that range where like, if you add 10 more pounds to that thing, you're going to blow your spine to pieces, dude.
Yeah, you see some seriously scary stuff in gyms, and it's like the Olympic lifts are the worst because I actually have a pretty good background
Sure.
in Olympic lifting. I spent a lot of time training it with some really sharp coaches,
Right.
and so I'm like really snobbish about technique because I think it's probably the easiest way to hurt yourself is doing that stuff wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I just cringe every time I see almost anyone doing Olympic lifts.
Well, that's a tough one because, like the CrossFit thing being so popular, and like I've been through a CrossFit cert and I saw the 26 minutes they spent on teaching the barbell snatch, and it's just crazy. Like what's your take on that kind of stuff? Like what do you think is wrong with the functional fitness industry?
I mean, I spent some time in a CrossFit gym. I went for several months. I'll probably go back. There's a decent CrossFit gym in Quebec. I think that the system in and of itself is actually pretty decent if it's executed right.
Right.
These guys at this gym in Quebec, they know what they're doing. They're all either studying in kinesiology or have a degree in kinesiology. They clearly know how to do and teach these more complex lifts. But even these guys, they will let people go ahead and do the workout of the day with movements in them that they don't master yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only place where something like CrossFit breaks down is in scalable execution.
Right.
So it's fine. Let them go ahead and do the workout of the day, but instead of a snatch, let's do like a kettlebell overhead press or something like that. Something else that will work them up towards being able to do a snatch and kind of have some of the same the same goal, like physical goals as a snatch. If you did like a kettlebell overhead press and squat combination, right? You're getting kind of the mobility in the hip and the shoulder and the same kind of strength movement development that you would be getting in doing the snatch. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's close enough that you're moving them towards the goal without putting them at risk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's a good system.
Yeah.
I just think that, in a lot of cases, it's not executed as well as it could be.
Yeah, it just really comes down to your coaches, right? Like, who are you learning from? Do they really know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. That's cool.
They should probably all just do CT50 instead, because it actually does incorporate the principles we're talking.
Because we created a progression in that one. Well, Adam, man, thanks so much for your time getting on the call, brother. Why don't you tell the crowd where they can find you and what you got going down the pipeline?
Yeah, well, probably the easiest thing, head to bodyweightcoach.com, and that's kind of the central hub for our stuff. And you can go to bodyweightburn.com as well. That's the actual my product.
As again, Adam's being humble. He's got probably the best bodyweight product out there, and it's got a ton of variations you guys have probably never seen. So I'll put a link to both below the show notes. You guys can check it out. So thanks again, Adam.
You bet, man.